joining us on Two Nicoles, One podcast. We have Ed from season 16 of The Bachelorette. Now, I don't know if you listen to our podcast, but I actually never watched anything in the Bachelor franchise. She has.
I have, yeah.
But I haven't until this season. So you're lucky that that we decided to watch. And you actually didn't watch it for years, but decided to watch it because there was all this hubbub.
I did, because Claire made it sound like there was a bunch of drama, and I was like, I have to see the oldest Bachelor in history.
So I mean, we're not going to talk about the Bachelor or the show the whole time, but what made you decide, like, especially because it seems like from, looking at all this stuff, it seems like it's like 22-year-olds on the show. What made you, as when we're your age, what made you decide as a grown man to go on? No, and I'm not shading you or anything.
No, it's funny. You're right.
No, but I mean, to go on a show with like not teenagers, but they're like kids right out of college and in college. What made you decide to just to go out and put yourself out there?
Yeah, so I noticed that this season and what Paradise would probably be like a pretty young demographic for sure. Actually, my best friend's wife, she just submitted me randomly. At the time, she didn't even know it was Claire. So okay. I could have been the 36-year-old amongst all the 23-year-olds for all I know. But she had submitted me. It's pretty simple, like a headshot and a few questions, and it was like 2 minutes, and that was it. And before you know it, they kind of like called me. You do some interviews. You think it's not going to happen, and before you know it, you're sitting out in LA with them. So. It wasn't something that crossed my mind or was in my range. I hadn't watched the show prior. So it was all pretty new to me.
That's cool. And I mean, personally, like as a woman, especially, we're in our 30s and you look back even, I wonder, like, you see a lot of these relationships not lasting. It's because like a guy who's like 22, 26, he wants to party. He doesn't want to be in a relationship. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So since you didn't submit it, did you feel like you were ready for a relationship? Like if it would have happened?
Yeah, of course. And I think the great thing is, I'm ready for a relationship, but just going out there, I hadn't seen any of the seasons that had Claire on them. So once she was announced, it was kind of like, okay, I've seen her on the TV as far as on Good Morning America, but I'm going to go into this. I'm not going to kind of research and try to figure out who she is. I'm going to go with it. Clean slate, meeting someone just how I'd meet someone in normal life. And so I kind of took that approach versus being like, I've studied every behavioral mannerism from the last 5 seasons she's been on. And so it was nice. And then when Tayshia came in, I was unfamiliar with Tayshia altogether. Mm-hmm. So that was a nice surprise, someone brand new. It was a great opportunity to meet 2 completely different women. They were both awesome. I had a good time getting to know each of them. And, there wasn't some long-lasting connection, but, obviously that's kind of what you do. You date, you find out, you explore, and that's kind of part of the process. So.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I mean, I think kind of going into it, how many guys are there? At least 20, there's a good chance it's not going to be you. So just enjoying the experience and making friends. It seems like you guys all made friends and
yeah.
That was the best part. The best part for me was just the friendships that came out of it. I think I went in expecting nothing really, just expecting just to kind of go in and have a cool experience and potentially meet somebody. And somehow you come out with a bunch of friends that you never thought you'd have. And so, especially being 36, it's harder to make great friends as you get older. It just kind of happens that way to some degree. But definitely blessed to say that I was able to make so many strong friendships within that house, and most of them continue this day. And obviously, we'll get better once kind of COVID lifts up and we can kind of get together a little bit more often.
Yes. Yeah. Should we ask some more Bachelorette questions, or
Let's move to some Pittsburgh questions, because
okay.
we're from Pittsburgh, so you're originally from Pittsburgh?
Yes, I'm from Pittsburgh. I grew up in Squirrel Hill.
Oh, cool,
okay,
cool.
Awesome.
Did you go to Taylor Alderdice, or did you go to a private school?
I did not. So I went to Shayside Academy growing up, and my family moved out to California for high school. So I went to high school out in California, but I had went through like K through 8 up in Pittsburgh. So
that's cool. And you went to University of Pittsburgh, which so did I.
I did not.
Oh, awesome. Nice.
Yeah. And if you've been to I don't know, well, if your family's from Pittsburgh, you've probably been somewhat recently.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about coming up in a couple of weeks. Now I come up probably once every couple months or so.
Mhm.
I try to avoid the winter months as much as possible, but you know, with holidays and everything, you can still get back up there.
Oh yeah, especially like you're in Florida. It's a bit different weather-wise. Um,
Yeah.
have you been to Oakland lately? Like it's so much different than it was
I
here.
have not been more. I was there about 6 months ago, but just the university campus, kind of what's
Okay.
across from Hillman Library, that was never there. It was a parking lot. Just seeing some of the renovations around the towers there and stuff. So the O is closed. I know the original is closed, which is sad, but I mean, in some ways good. It was always a center of bad things as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely changed a lot of new stuff, but some of the staples are still there, like Antunes.
Yes.
So still
Yeah, I
got the
know.
Antunes going on.
There's I know we would go to Boomerangs. That's
Oh
closed.
yeah.
That used to be like the
Yeah, it was boomerangs. It was boomerangs and Hemingways is what it was
Yeah.
when I was there.
I think Hemingway's is still there.
I had a drink there before. It's still
Peter's
there.
Pub is now a Mario's. So it's so much different
Okay.
now. So yeah, I know. I don't really like go there, but I go through there all the time. I love Squirrel Hill. Like to get pizza there. That's definitely my favorite place in the city to get pizza. What's your favorite pizza place there?
I would say Minios probably.
Okay, I know. Well, I heard somebody say city people prefer, is it Aiello's or Aiello's?
Alos, yeah, it's like they're
Yeah.
like right next door to each other.
I
Yeah.
know. I prefer. I like the Sicilian at Minio's. Maybe I'll get some tonight.
Interesting. I actually
What's
don't
the
like
favorite?
Minios. I don't.
You don't really eat pizza though.
Yeah, but if I'm gonna eat it, I like Betos or Betos. Or
I hate
Betos.
Betos
Oh,
because they don't bake the cheese.
I like the cold cheese on top.
See, I've become like a real sellout for like the basic, just blaze pizza. Get as much as you want on it, you know, in the suburbs. So I've gotten less and less of those places and more to like the blazes now, just to get tons of food, you know.
So you're basic. You don't like the.
I become, yeah, I think as I get older, I just become more basic. And like Blaze is my favorite restaurant, like off the record. It's just like, I love Blaze. So if I see one, I'm stopping. And when I land, there's one in Robinson, kind of close to the airport. So that's like my first stop when I go to Pittsburgh.
I think
So-
isn't there one now on Pitt's campus? There's a pizza
There
place.
might be.
I used to work
They're
right
everywhere.
on Pitt's campus, so I swear there is one there because we would get pizza.
There's one at PPG Arena too in the upper deck. I know that.
Uh-huh.
That's always
Yeah, they
good,
put
too.
those things all over the place. See, I like Italians all over the place. I just like the real.
The real stuff.
I like the experience more so. So
Yeah, no, I got you.
yeah, that's my thing.
Are you a fan of Permane Brothers?
I mean, it's one of those places that when I had like friends and family visit, I would take them there, but like it's not probably somewhere that I would normally go. Sometimes if it's late at night and that's the only thing open, it's like, okay, you know, it's there. But it wouldn't be like on my list. And I know they're everywhere now. They're in all the suburbs, but they do have really good wings. And they have some down here. They have two Permane Brothers in Fort Lauderdale.
Nice.
So they got good wings and good pizza. So, you know, not my favorite place, but certainly somewhere I'll go.
Yeah, they've become like huge.
Yeah, they're just growing.
They're all over the place.
I just think they're overrated.
I think they are too. Yeah.
I don't get it.
And you get a lot of like real hardcore Pittsburghers that will only go to the original location and stuff like that, which I think is, you know, if you're going to live for something, why not?
What is it? The strip one? Is that the strip?
The strip. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's the real Pittsburghers will go there, but they
Other
won't go to
ones.
any of the other ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know. So what made you decide to go to Miami? You just were sick of the cold weather or just for your job or?
No, so I was living in Charlotte, North Carolina, which I loved.
Cool.
But my job actually allows me to live anywhere I want, as long as there's an airport. And my brother lives in West Palm Beach.
Oh yeah, that's
so
close.
he's down here, and you know, just Miami's more of a city feel. I don't have to drive anywhere. I just walk everywhere, take an Uber if I need to go anywhere more than a mile or two. Yeah, I basically don't have any kind of local work here. I just use the airport. I work from home. Now it's just work from home during COVID, but
Yeah.
no, it's a nice place to be because I'll travel through a few cities, and especially like, you know, during the winter, I can travel through some cities that are cold, but I know I'm coming back to Miami, so it's nice that I get to have the seasons, but kind of come back here ultimately each week, so it's nice.
That's cool. There's a lot of, well, there's not too many celebrities that are from there, but everybody kind of, that's their playground. I mean, who's from there, like Uncle Luke, Trick Daddy, well,
Yeah.
you know what kind of music I listen to from
Yeah,
that.
no, Two Live Crew, I like it.
Yeah, Two Live Crew. She doesn't even know who the Two Live Crew is. And I can't believe it.
I had to
It's just,
Google it.
like, I'm explaining to her, like, how many laws they fought and all this. I'm like,
Yeah. No
they're
idea.
legends. But yeah, I'm a Two Live Crew fan. So
Got that.
have you had any big sightings with Uncle Luke or anything?
I've never seen him in particular, but you'll see a lot of the other guys like Drake and a lot of those rappers and people
Oh
on
yeah.
various spots. But I mean, even him and like a lot of the other guys, you hear Uncle Luke mentioned in lyrics to songs that come out this year. So he's relevant in every way. So I still hear his name a lot.
Yeah. I mean, he's 60, so he's probably not out in the clubs like the kids are, I'll tell you that. Yeah. I mean, I'm not out in the clubs like I once was. I doubt at 60 I will be. Yeah, maybe for my birthday.
Oh goodness.
So I think I feel like when you were in the season, you kind of became most popular
Man-child, right?
later
Man-child
on in
award?
this.
Is that the thing?
Yes, the
So-
man-child award.
Is that what
Which
you- yeah.
to me, I didn't think you were going to get that award, but I mean, I didn't know. How would I know?
Was did that happen before the drama with Chasen, or was that after Chasen? Because that's when your name really started getting.
Yeah, it was all kind of in one. It all happened in one episode. It was all probably the same 24 hours.
Yeah.
So like the way the dates kind of work is you have the date and then you have like the night portion of the date. So you have a date, you do all that stuff, and then you go get changed and you go back out at night. And I think the night that particular night when I won the award was the night me and Chasen got into it.
Gotcha.
But yeah, so yeah, I didn't expect the award, necessarily, but as soon as I thought it was hilarious. I thought it was funny, something to run with and have a good time. First doll that's ever made it to a rose ceremony or to a group date. So yeah, it was a good time for sure. And I watched it back. Obviously, just funny to see, me holding a little doll and stuff like that. So probably, yeah, it's one of the highlights for sure of my time out there. And to the audience, it was like one of the first times I was shown, just because we lost so much of the season to like Dale, Blake. It was like a 2-man show for like 4 episodes.
Yes.
So you didn't really get to know any of the guys. So everyone's like, who are the rest of these guys?
Mhm.
So it was a little bit different than your usual season where you can kind of like get to know them each episode. It was just kind of like, here you are all of a sudden, so.
Yeah, we said that once Tasia came on, there was a bunch of people and we were like, wait, who is this person? Because so much of the show was focused on Claire and Dale. Like,
Yeah, it was just like them kind of meeting up and whatever.
yeah.
It is what it is. And I mean, I guess I don't know you guys' feelings about it, but I guess like, don't drag everybody along if you're gonna fall for each other, whatever it is, I don't know. I wasn't there. So
Yeah.
whatever,
How long of a period did that actually happen in? Because like we saw it over weeks. Was it really quick that like Claire was there and then Tasia moved in?
It was there was like a slight delay. I don't recall how long, but a few days of uncertainty. They didn't know what was going to happen, whether we have to go home or get a new Bachelorette or whatnot. But I think the excitement kind of kept everyone on their toes. It was a long few days. You're just kind of waiting, but you're also waiting in anticipation. So there was that aspect too that kind of kept you going. But it was like a huge pivot because you're talking to one woman and kind of developing a relationship and spending time, and then all of a sudden it's like, okay, switch, now here's someone else. So it was an adjustment, I think, for everybody. Obviously just kind of moving forward at that point.
That's cool. Did you think like when Claire announced, she was ending it with Dale, did you feel like, oh, I took time off work, I wasted all this time just to come out here, or how did you feel?
No, it wasn't like, it was one of those things that was so early on, and I hadn't spent enough time with Claire to really develop like a relationship beyond just like a superficial kind of like flirty banter here and there.
Yeah.
And so of course the reason Claire goes out there is to find someone that she wants to be with, and that's the ultimate goal. And in theory, whether that lasts a day or 6 weeks or whatever it is, I mean, that was the goal of the show, is for Claire to find somebody. And she just happened to find that early, so there's no harm, no foul there. it would have been disappointing to head back home, of course, but
Yeah.
also not something I'd be like, oh, I'm mad at Claire or Dale. It was more or less just unfortunate circumstance, but obviously very thankful that they were able to kind of continue and kind of, work on the fly more or less with Tayshia.
Yeah, I think that honestly, because and that's exactly the thing. I don't think it would have been so much. I'm sure somebody would have, there's always somebody that's gonna cause drama, but I don't think anybody so much would have been mad at them except for Yosef is.
Yosef's mad at
But
him.
I think people were just like, oh yeah, whatever. But like I came out here, I took time off work. What are you gonna do with me? At least like have some kind of wrestling competition or something, just so we can do something here, let us comp our stay for a couple weeks, I feel like that would have been more of a thing. Like, I was planning on relaxing out here. Well, what about when you
got lost?
Yeah, when you were hanging out with Chris Harrison, why were you so confident that you were going to the right place?
I don't really know. It was, we had kind of seen where Taste's place was when we were at a rose ceremony prior, and I knew it was in that area, and producers were kind of like helping me along. And that was the dose of reality though, when you knock on the door and it's Chris. And at first I thought, I really thought, oh, Chris is over here giving her a pep talk. That's what he always did. He would always be with Tayshia, giving those little pep talks. And so I even asked him, you can see it on camera, like, where's Tayshia at? And that's why I thought learned it was his room. So at first you're kind of annoyed, a little like frustrated with the situation, but then immediately 10 seconds later, you're like, well, this is Chris Harrison. He's inviting me in for wine. I mean, this is a big moment here still. So I'm not going to turn down wine at 2 a.m. So it turned out to probably be my most memorable, kind of little segment on the show for myself. It was just kind of, such a shock to me, but such a great surprise at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it all worked out.
Oh, that was my favorite part of the season.
Honestly, we were saying that that probably that's quality networking.
It is.
I mean, that's somebody who definitely has success in show production. So you can learn some things there. So I guess you did yourself a favor, getting lost. And that was what in was it Arizona? No, it was in Palm Springs. Palm Springs, yeah. Yeah. So I'm sure, was it 130 degrees out there?
Yeah, that's hot as hell. That's why things started so late, and why you saw people dripping with sweat. We'd wake up and it was like 105 when you wake up at 9 a.m. And some days were like 122. It was just like brutal. So it was one of those, if you were outside, the second you walked out, you'd be sweating. So that's why in the confessionals you see a lot of guys just wearing cutoffs and workout gear the whole time, because it was just brutal every day.
Oh yeah.
I always wondered why Ivan would wear long sleeve shirts on his dates, and I'm like, what is he doing?
Yeah.
And he would be soaked.
Well, yeah, because I mean, I think a lot of guys, like as a dress shirt, you wear the long sleeves, like the short sleeves kind of look cheesy, but you don't want to
No, they weren't dress shirts.
They
were
were
like,
I can't.
Whatever.
You know what I was through this weekend.
Okay.
I was on a conference call today, and they were talking about a meeting on Friday. I was like, I don't remember the meeting on Friday. I had a tough weekend. Okay. It's literally how I live my life, a day at a time.
So, well, I guess on the Chris Harrison little comment there, he's quite in the news lately. Do you have any comments about all the situation?
No, I mean, there's something I don't want to comment on. I mean, we made a statement. We released a statement as a group. We put on our Instagrams as a post that we had all kind of worked on together.
Yeah.
And beyond that, there's really just nothing to really say.
Yeah.
But obviously, you just want to see kind of everyone come together whenever possible and just kind of make the best of it. So it's kind of been a tough few weeks for the franchise and for a lot of different things. So hopefully this is kind of a rough patch that kind of gets better and things are changed to some degree within the franchise. And moving forward, there's kind of a new emphasis on diversity and just inclusion and all those other things. So, but yeah, obviously unfortunate to kind of see some of the problems that have plagued everything, but hopeful that, it's kind of a thing of the past soon here.
Yeah, I know. I've seen the post you were referring to, and I saw that this season, the girls from the Bachelor, Matt James season, posted something really similar. And, I think just people just need to be open and educate themselves, and most people can step forward in a better light that way. So that's what's up. But I mean, in talking with the, the franchise, do you have any plans, or are you open to continue with the franchise with Bachelor in Paradise or whatever else they skiing with the Bachelor? I don't know what they'll be doing.
Yeah, no,
It
I
seems like
mean,
it's always-
obviously Bachelor in Paradise is something that would be amazing. So I know that opportunity is coming up quickly. So they're going to kind of finalize and figure out who they'd like to come out there. But of course, I mean, I think a lot of us would love that opportunity. You get to, probably a better opportunity to kind of meet someone. You have, an equal ratio of men and women.
Mhm.
And of course, who wouldn't like a quarantine vacation in the middle of the summer during this off year? So yeah, I mean, an exciting opportunity. So kind of just fingers crossed, hoping that I get to partake in that. But that would be amazing.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, how much different is that than Miami, though? You know what I mean? Like, it's not like you live, you don't live.
It's not different, but like it's more or less you're on a beach, unlimited like food and like nothing to do, no work, no nothing. It's
Yeah,
just kind of like you just get to zone out. I mean, even a release from your cell phone, it'll just probably cut like a nice reset. And then now for us, for all of us, we're all kind of friends, and so it's like a vacation with your buddies. Like I get to see all the other guys. Everyone's safe in a little bubble, and there's none of that stuff where like, oh, I can't shake your hand kind of thing, or we go, it's just all kind of normal. And that was kind of one of the great things about last year is that we were in this bubble, which it sucked to be in a bubble. You're not traveling or whatnot, but also is the sense of normalcy in a non-normal year where we were shaking hands, you could kiss someone, like all those things that you can't really, you can't do as easily in the pandemic. It was nice to kind of like forget about that.
Yeah,
That's cool. That's cool. Yeah.
So do they actually take all of your stuff so you have no communication with the outside world when you're actually on the show?
Yeah, you don't have any phone, any internet, any TV. There's no games. There's no nothing. It's just talking to people. You're either sitting with your own thoughts or you're talking to everybody. I mean, there's no in between, which is why those emotions that you have out there are so intense because there's nothing else going on. You don't have distractions and your world becomes this little bubble, and so you think about it, you dream about it, but it's all because every other stimulus has been kind of taken away from you.
Yeah.
So,
And our world's become so online,
Yeah,
especially in the last like 10 years with all these different social medias, and you check your work, and that's definitely a big change.
yeah, true. So they plan like crazy dates on The Bachelor. So what is your ideal date if you could, like any dollar amount? So if like you could just do it.
If you had the Bachelor's budget.
Well, yeah.
to be honest with you, just living in Miami, my favorite thing to do is I like to just like go paddle boarding. I have an extra paddle board that I have for like guests or friends or whoever. And I can just throw it in the water and kind of you can find a little private island. You can just kind of do a nature tour. You can do whatever. And there's so many options, but it's just, I like just being out on the water, kind of being in nature, getting a little bit of physical activity in. And so it's something I've always enjoyed. And I know it's kind of free, but it's just like, it's always been, a lot of fun and just something gives you a chance to get to know someone doing something that you love and just kind of get some sunshine and taking advantage of Miami.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Simple days are sometimes better.
And sometimes I feel like it's not so much about the budget, but like what who
Agreed.
where
Yeah. True.
Yes.
Where would you take a date in Pittsburgh?
Jeez, well, the only reason I got one of my good buddies, he lives in Pittsburgh and he always goes, well, he lives like a couple blocks from Santa Mercado, so he likes to go there on dates. I don't know. I like pirate games. That's my thing. That's what I'll be up for next is pirate games. I don't really like baseball. I'm not a baseball fan, but I love going to baseball games. So I love going to PNC Park and just hanging out and just think it's a good date spot. A lot of conversation. You're out in public, but you get to talk. You don't have to pay attention to the game. Get a good view of the city, some food, beer, whatever. So I would say, yeah, PNC Park was my spot in college when it was warm. That was my favorite place to go.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
Oh yeah. And they had, the tickets have always been cheap there. I was going to say they had, but the tickets have always been, maybe not when they were winning the World Series,
In the
but
70s.
yeah, back in the 70s when they were on a heater all the time, but not lately.
Oh, goodness. It's a good park though, because it
It
has
is.
like the best view of the city. So like,
Oh yeah.
good park.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's what's up. Should we play our game?
Yeah, we like to play games on our podcast, so we're just gonna play a little game with you.
All right. So we're gonna ask you some questions, and you're gonna pick which one you would rather do.
Yeah. So this is the first one.
Okay.
Would you rather adopt and raise a coffee mug as your child, or shove a spider monkey up your ass?
Up the coffee mug.
I mean, you kind of have a history with
Yeah.
inanimate objects.
Adoption, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe Carlos.
Yeah. Would you rather lock yourself in a porta potty with your least favorite person and tell your friends, or star in a reality show called I Killed My Family?
I think the porta potty one sounds more up my alley for reputation purposes.
Honestly, like if it wasn't in a porta potty, it wouldn't be that bad. Like,
No.
I don't mind having conversations with people, even uncomfortable conversations, but porta potties are disgusting. So.
I think it would speed it along. It'd be a quick
Yeah,
conversation.
like, yeah, we're cool. That's fine.
Okay, our last one. When you go out, you always have to be on a leash, or immediately call your mom after every sexual encounter and describe it in graphic detail.
I think you'd have to pick the first one, the
Yeah.
leash one. I've never been on a leash, but I remember when I was little, like when I was like an adult, I still see people with their kids on a leash. I've never been on a leash, but it's funny to watch.
You don't see that much anymore, but yeah, you would see that all the time. Like people would just yank the leash.
I used to work at the Pittsburgh Zoo, and everyone had their kid on a leash.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. You would see it like, I don't know why I'm thinking of Montgomery Ward, but you would see like in a store like that. Just in a store, like whatever, Giant Eagle, a grocery store, Walmart, people would be like tugging their kids on the leash. It's like, just let them go.
Yeah. Yes. That's
But
true.
I guess they didn't want their kids hiding in the clothing racks.
I did that at Hills.
Yeah, I know you did that, but you were bad. All right, Ed. Well, thank you so much
Yes.
for being on our show. We're really excited that you came on, and good luck with whatever you decide to do, whether it's with the Bachelor franchise or if it's, it's still with CBS or whatever you do.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
And take care. No, this is awesome. I haven't been on anything with like people from Pittsburgh yet, so this is cool.
Yeah. We saw you and we were like, oh, he's funny and he has like a cool personality. And then I saw that you were from Pittsburgh and I was like, oh yeah, that's awesome. So
Yeah, I was just talking to my friend last night. I gotta get up there for a Pirates game during the month of April, like something soon here. So
it's coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
All right. Well, thank you so much. It was awesome. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.